Hey people, welcome back. Another little blog, and this one ties into the last videos in the series that I've already made. So please watch them if you want to understand the sales process. We've talked about prospecting and we've given some examples. Now we're going through and we're going to talk about quantifying or qualifying. Kind of the same, but we'll stick with qualifying, I think, for Vima. Just because it's more readily available, and then closing. So what we want to do is, with qualifying, an example of the definition of qualifying in sales would be, to break it down in simple man's language, which is what I always do, is that you're panning for gold, you've got your gold pan in the river, okay? And there's other things in there. It could be gemstones, it could be little rocks and shells. Basically, what you want to end up with is gold, okay? So, I guess you're trying to sift out all the other things that you don't want to be left with gold. So, when we say qualify, that's kind of what we mean. And we don't mean that those other things are rubbish, okay? They may not be rubbish. They may convert to gold later, depending on how good you are and how good you get at this whole thing. And I'll talk about that when we go through it. So with qualifying, there's another video that has dealt with objections. At the qualifying stage, when you go and meet your customer, what you should be doing is asking them questions. You should be spending time to get to know them. And why you do that is because there's another video that talks about value from a customer perspective or value from a customer perception. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get to know these people so you can offer them that value. You can find out what they're all about and whether this opportunity is for them. And if it is for them, how can you relate it in a way where they can come on the journey with you and they can actually be interested, because you're trying to come at them with something they want, okay? What you're trying to do is you're not really trying to sell. You're trying to get people to take a good product, and you're passionate about it. The right frame of mind, again, same stuff as prospecting. When you qualify, okay, you've got to be in that right frame of mind. But, as an opportunist and an entrepreneur, you will get to pick little signs up, and you'll get to look at people's body language and also their speech, and you'll get to be a very good listener. So it's not about when you qualify. I'll give you an example. You prospect, you get an interested person, and then I'll use the Cobra principle again. You go through it, okay, you get them, and what happens is, instead of asking them questions, you kind of get a little bit too anxious and you go and strike, okay? Wrong. What you've got to do first is rewind it, take it easy, keep your composure. It is kind of an exciting time when people are interested, but you've got to make sure of a few things. Question, guys. And I'm going to talk about a specific type of question that you don't use, and it's called a closed-ended question. So I'll give you an example of it. We've got an interested customer here, and I'm going to give them a phone call, and it could be a meeting, it could be a three-way call, it could be I invite them to my house. Any of those scenarios. We're going to take a call here. And anyway, this person has expressed interest, and we're going to try and qualify what that interest is, and we're going to try and further give them more knowledge, and we're going to engage them by listening and responding intelligently to what their needs are, and we want to find out about them, okay? And any obstacles, objections, which is dealt with in a later video, that are kind of, being a barrier to why they're not coming in with us, okay? So when we ask them, we might say, I'll use Sam in this case. Sam, it's Aaron here. I understand you're interested in coming on the Vima journey. And, Sam will say, at this time, yes or no. Okay, right there, that is quite bad. You've used the closed-ended question, because the only real answer to that is yes or no. Now, Sam might be interested and he might say yes, you're lucky. What about if he isn't? A better way to do this would be, hi Sam, it's Aaron here. I understand that you've been talking with me, or maybe it's come through another contact, okay, through your team. You've been talking with Michelle about Vima, and I'm just here to give you a little bit more information and to understand, about you and about your needs. And I guess that's, what we're going to do today. So, would you like to tell me a bit about, the opportunity you see, please? Okay, the opportunity you see. And, most people are not going to say no. Okay? You know what I mean? What they're probably going to say is, actually, I think you might have mistaken. I wasn't interested. I just wanted to find out about more. And, that's fine. And then you can go on to that. And you can say to them, well, what do you currently know, Sam? And if there's, do you have any questions? Because I can tell you about this opportunity in detail. And then you can ask more questions. And that engaging, that bringing that customer to, where you're at, and then you understand what they want. And it's like that. So that sets up the dialogue and the rapport. And you kind of become very close, even though this person hasn't joined your team yet. Now that's qualifying the proper way. Don't use closed-ended questions unless they're rhetorical questions. And rhetorical questions is, it's like this. Sam, I understand that you currently drink coffee. And Sam might say yes. He might say no. He might say yes. Okay, let's say he says yes. A rhetorical question is if you already knew the answer to that because someone told you, you already know Sam drinks coffee. So a rhetorical question is you already know the answer to the question. It's okay to use those. And you can say and further explain to Sam, well, we've got an opportunity here, Sam, where you get paid to drink our product. And all you need to do is go and tell your friends about it. And if you believe in it and they believe in it, you can actually get your product supplied for free and make some money. Just tell me one thing. Do you get paid to drink coffee? Boom. Okay? And this is where you give the mic to Sam. And you just listen to what Sam is saying. And Sam might think, that this whole thing might dawn on him right there. Or he might say, well, what do you mean get paid? And that's your cue to go on. Okay? So rhetorical questions are alright. But don't lead with a question that you can only say yes or no to. And it takes a bit of practice, guys, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to do your own research on this. But when you get good at prospecting, qualifying, and closing, if you do qualifying and prospecting properly, by the time it gets to the closing stage, it's just a matter of sign up and going through the basics, showing them the master document, introducing them to the team, because they're already so enthusiastic, they know everything. But during the qualifying stage, you need to cover the broad spectrum. You need to make sure that that customer knows exactly what he or she is in for. They can definitely see the value of the product or service, the opportunity, from their own perception. They know the pricing, they know the structure, they know when the product's going to come, how it's delivered, what time is the delivery, and they know where to go to enroll on the website. And these are the things that you have to spend time, as much as getting around the sales process. It's enough time to know these things, and all this can be found. You can ask your upline, you can go on to, your own website in the back office, and you can train in your own time at this. But what I'd say is if you want a deeper understanding of this whole process, go on, guys, go onto the net. When you come into Vimeo, there's a raft of collateral. All I want to do is hit the things that you need to be doing. And this is a reference for you. When you come into the team on this journey, you can always come back here and, real talk, this is defining how you're going to be successful. Nothing's going to change, okay? I might get a better quality camera, but the things I'm saying here are always going to be the same. And this is like 20 years experience. And I'm still learning and listening to people from Vimeo. So you've always got to have that open mind. Because I might have 20 years experience, someone might have 40 or 50. Okay, no one knows everything. So it's about growing yourself and leaving your ego behind. So, but after 20 years, you should know the basics, if you've been successful. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been successful. So what we're going to go on to now is the closing side, and that's the last thing we're going to leave you with. When you're closing the sale, what I want to do is this. I want to explain to you this process. You prospect, you do everything right. If the customer doesn't come in, you leave the book open. The same as qualifying. The qualifying stage is the biggest chunk, okay? This is, prospecting and qualifying is a time when you make sure that you cover all the bases with the customer. You know, what we don't want is a customer or a brand partner coming into the business and, you know, they're second guessing information and, you know, like, well, I didn't realize it was this price. Like, what team am I coming into? So they land there, you know, in a world of despair. We don't want that, guys. And that's what happens when you qualify and prospect in a bad way. The outcome is not good, okay? When you prospect and qualify in a good way and follow these steps I've told you, basically, when it comes to closing the sale, okay, and this whole process from prospect to close, objections go on here, okay, off the top, and there's another video about that. That process from prospect to close is called conversion, okay? When you hear people saying converting, you're converting an opportunity, okay, into a closed sale, okay, and that person's joining you in your team or they're buying product. So that's what conversion or converting means, okay? But if you do these two properly, this one here is really, really easy, guys. If you stuff these two up, by the time you get to here, people are probably 50-50 whether they're going to take the product or not, and most people are going to bow out at this time. If you try and handle objections at closing time, you have done everything wrong, okay? Because you should have handled those two at qualifying and prospecting. Remember, qualifying is a sieve. That's the engagement part where you give people information. If you're trying to do it down here when you're supposed to be closing, you've done something wrong here, guys. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourselves. You know, when you first come in here, if you haven't done this whole concept, and that's why I'm trying to lay it out for you in everyday terms, then, you know, you can learn this. When you were born, you weren't a superstar. Okay, Michael Jordan just didn't come out of his mum's womb and, you know, be one of the greatest basketball players he's ever lived. I mean, you know, they were trained. And the good news about this is you have the collateral. All you need to do is dedicate some of your time and energy, even set 1 hour of your day for personal growth and learning about this product. And then after that, go and do it. So you get that experience up, and you'll be a gun at this. If you can get this process here right, man, you're 75% there to becoming successful. And not only that, but you are able to teach the team if you understand this and you can get it right. Okay, guys? So, closing, that's basically it. I'm not going to go through too much. You know, watch the next video when handling objections, and that'll give you some more ammunition. If, you know, there are a few objections here, they should be very minor. But if there are objections here and you're getting this all the time, analyze this, guys. Okay? If it was a prospect and it turned into a non-event, you need to go back and understand why. Always analyze. You know, I said it in prospecting, I said it in the objections. You've got to analyze. So, time for you to do your own research. Thank you very much for your time. And hey, have fun with it. I tell you one thing, this whole process is ultra rewarding. I reiterate it again, it's ultra rewarding. When you get good at it, it's probably one of the most fun things, and it's even more fun and rewarding than getting paid. I'll leave you with that. And I tell you, successful people will agree with me. Alright, thank you. Stay up, guys. Have a good week. Boom.